Hi, Stephen. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me.
So, most of the British public, that's 66%, or about two-thirds according to research, is dissatisfied with the government's handling of immigration, and that's including people from both sides of the political spectrum. So, it begs the question, are Rishi Sunak's immigration policies having any positive impact?
It's very clear that they're not. The research that is undertaken by Ipsos and British Future has been going on since 2015. I know the centre well. We've worked on other issues ourselves together, and it's very clear that this particular concern of the public, that they feel that the immigration policy of the Conservative Party is not only failing, is one that's been replicated across many polls over the past few years, where immigration and the impact particularly of illegal immigration, as people see it, is rising dramatically and having a stronger impact also on the political framework, I would say mainly for conservative and right-leaning voters, less so for those who are Labour voters.
What impact does this mass migration then have on our society?
Well, there's a big argument. There is an economic argument that's based on sheer numbers. So the Treasury, in particular, loved the idea of having large-scale migration into the UK because across the globe, there is strong evidence to support the view that more people coming into a country increases GDP. On the other side of the argument, there is the negative view that yes, GDP is increasing, but GNP, the amount of money that actually we have as a population per person, declines. And that's certainly the case of the middle classes, the lower middle classes, and those with the lowest incomes in the country. So that's perspective one. The other perspective, which I don't think is also challenged greatly, is that those on the lowest incomes, those in the bottom 30% percentile, certainly see an increase in competition for their jobs. So those jobs are under pressure, the wages don't rise as much. And so there is a massive negative here. And I think that's why you're beginning to see more and more people start to take the view that immigration in itself is not a great thing.
Because it's not just the illegal immigration from the small boats. It's part of a much broader problem. I think when Tony Blair opened up the gates basically to immigration, to mass migration, that's when we started seeing more of these effects.
There were two impacts under Tony Blair in 2001. 103,000 people claimed asylum. Well, that's been surpassed now by those claiming asylum under Rishi Sunak over the past 2 years. And when you talk about legal migration, of course, Tony Blair's government opened the doors to the E8 countries, particularly Romania and Bulgaria, and we saw huge numbers come in, many millions, in perspective when they thought only tens of thousands would follow. What you have here on the government of Rishi Sunak is something distinctly different to that of Tony Blair. Rishi Sunak's government has said that we will take control of our borders, but what they have done is opened up the number of students, opened up the number of visas, reduced the amounts of wages that people could claim before they can get a visa over here for work permits. So what they have effectively done has been more open border than Tony Blair could have ever dreamed of.
Stephen Wolf, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.